Everybody is on mute and we will get going. So this is our virtual yoga practice here from Yoga Studio. You'll see a few other teachers on the schedule and they will be doing theirs from home. With how everything is right now, no one is allowed in, some people I guess are not allowed in businesses unless they're essential. And although I believe yoga is an essential and vital piece of our well-being and livelihood, the government doesn't see it that way. So I will be here at the studio many days, sometimes at home, and then we'll have some other teachers teaching from afar, from their own homes. We'll have Lang on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Jen did a class yesterday, and we may work on a few more. But besides that, I'm here to just allow you some time and space to relax, get a little bit of a workout in. My background is in power vinyasa yoga. I'm not going to go all out on you today, and nor will I for the rest of the time while we're here. But one of my goals and my hopes for all of you is that you come out of this going back to work a stronger, a more peaceful and empowered human being. So go do those online dance classes and go do those online lifting programs and come do some yoga to kind of combine all of that and to help you in every area of your life. So my goal for you, my thought for you is that you are going to, come out stronger, peaceful, and a better human when we go back to not regular life, but life beyond COVID-19, beyond coronavirus. All right, give me a moment. Start in a seated pose. So go ahead and sit down if you aren't already. I didn't have someone pick a number, so I'm just going to pick one of our affirmation cards for the day, and we'll go from there. I like that one. I have 60 different affirmations, and affirmations are simple mantras or just sayings that you tell yourself, and hopefully your actions will help follow your thoughts, which is actually a true statement. Your actions follow your thoughts. So what you think, you start to believe, and you start to act as though that is true. So mantras or affirmations or repeating certain phrases can really help you bring out the best in you and to bring out a great and positive intention for your yoga practice. So sitting up tall, today's affirmation says, I am thriving. I reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. I am thriving. I reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. Health, joy, put a smile on your face, and contribution. How are you helping and serving others? So we'll set that aside and come back to that every so often. All right, so sitting up tall, if you haven't already, just rest your hands either on your knees or in your lap. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a slow exhale out. Without changing your breath too much, notice and acknowledge how your breath is flowing in and out of your body. As you breathe a little bit deeper, become aware if this is your deepest breath yet all day. Or maybe you feel as though you've been in a nice meditative state all day. That would be great if it was always the case, but I know that making our way to our mats and checking in with our breath and our bodies is something that we come back to frequently because we tend to get lost or breath gets choppy, we get a little bit stressed. So there's no judgments or expectations on your breath, your body, your movements, or anything that we're going to do. Instead, we just allow. We allow ourselves to thrive, to just allow those benefits to come in as we start to work on our health, being more joyful, and contributing to others. So we'll take a deeper breath in through the nose. The exhale is out through the nose. Relax the shoulders. Sit up taller as you breathe in. Exhale, feel that belly descend as you breathe out. And on your next exhale, take the chin down to your chest. I'm going to take some movement through the body, starting with the head, the neck, the shoulders. Rock your head side to side. Half circles or full circles. So as I'm sitting here at the yoga studio and you're rocking your head side to side, I also want to mention something that's very random, but some of you might appreciate this. The ramen place across the street is open now for takeout. So if you've been wanting that ramen place to open forever, you can come get takeout. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it's really good. All right, take your head back up to the center. Look over your right shoulder, and I'm going to mirror you. So I think me looking to my left looks like I'm looking to my right, or you're mirroring me, whatever it is. So I'm looking to my left, but you look to your right. And then switch sides, looking over at your left shoulder. And back to the center. Big shoulder roll up, back and down. And do that a couple more times. Shoulders up, back and down. One more time. And take those hands and reach sky high. Take a side bend. Right hand comes down, left arm comes across. Inhale, reach up. Find a little vibrancy, a little bit of joy as you breathe in. And an exhale, you lengthen, find that stretch. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the side. If you're finding your legs don't like the cross-leg position, inhale, reach up. Feel free to outstretch the legs in front of you or sit in any way that feels nice for you. Two more to the side. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the side. Inhale, reach up. Now twist. Take that right hand to your knee, left hand behind you. Look back over the left shoulder. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the side. Look back over right shoulder. Two more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, twist. Back to the center, reach up. Reach the hands forward, way forward, so that you tilt forward, your sit bones lift up, and you crawl yourself forward to hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Arch your back, look up. Round your back, look down, cat and cow pose. Let's do that, continue that flow back and forth. Cat, cow, arch, round. Try to get a full articulation in the spine, a full round through the entire spine, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spines. And the same thing as you arch, dropping the belly, the chest, lifting the heart, and spreading the collarbones. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position. So your belly is drawn in, tailbone shoots straight back, and crown of the head reaching forward. Press down through those fingertips, spreading those fingers wide, and take the right leg straight back at hip height. Straight back, and find this long length. So even though some of these poses are seemingly very simple, you could hang out here and just sort of be lazy with it. But I really want that activation. I would love to see you pressing through your heel, if I could see you, lengthening that leg, squeezing the glutes, pressing into the hands and lifting through that belly, elongating from head to heel. Then with that leg lifted, take the left arm, reach it forward. Everything is in a straight line. This is called a spinal extension. Single leg, single knee. Now press into the top of the left foot just to stay stable. Take a deep breath in, reaching a little longer. Exhale, round the back, hug the elbow to the knee, and lift up and in. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, pull it in, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And do it again. One more time, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Pause. Awesome. Keep it lifted. Keep that leg lifted. Hold it. Just feel it. Shift your weight forward to the tippy fingers of your right hand, your fingertips. Keep internally rotating that right leg as if you're trying to hug the inner thigh towards your midline. Big toe rotating inward. And then finally place the hand and the knee down. Whew. In between, take a couple cat and cows just to find some length, round. Good, and then coming back to that neutral position, let's do the other side. This is part of our warm-up, a good core strengthening warm-up, never hurt anyone. Getting stronger because we showed up today. Extend that left leg straight back, right knee on the ground. So notice this, my leg is extended as if I were standing on the ground and I had my knee lifted. So you can think of yourself as like a Tetris block, meaning that you keep the same integrity of the body if you were standing in the same position as you are on your hands and knees. So you kind of flip, but stay strong in every position rather than hanging out and being kind of lazy with it. So extend the leg. And then finally, let's reach that right hand forward. A lot of people walking around today. I don't think they know the rules. All right, extend longer, reach like you're shaking someone's hand. You really want to find their hand or reach for them, even though you know they're 6 feet away from you. You can't quite reach them or shake their hand. Reach longer. Okay, take a deep breath in and pull it in elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, extend it. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach, hold it. Shift forward into the left fingertips, a little more forward, a little bend in that left elbow as well. Keep that tricep of that left arm active. Same with your abs. And reach a little longer, and finally take it down. Right, knees go a little wider than they were. Sit back on the heels, extend the arms forward, and rest your forehead down towards the floor. Child's pose. Just releasing any of that tension and lengthening through the back, pressing down through the fingertips, hugging those arm bones inward. And settling in on your forehead, right between the eyebrows, that third eye center. Find that little pressure point to alleviate any tension, some tightness, and feel grounded. And then shift your way forward to hands and knees, but keep the hands in front of the shoulders. Knees can come a little closer, feet hip distance apart. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips and send them back. Little bend in the knees is fine to start with this downward facing dog. I've got kind of a baggy shirt on right here, so maybe hard, you can't see exact outline, but that's all right. It's just a good reminder that the best type of clothes to wear in a yoga practice are not loose fitting, not because they're not comfortable, but because you'll have shirts flying everywhere and all over in your face. So tighter fitting clothing just for the fact that we're doing all sorts of shapes. We're in all sorts of directions. So if you're not already, pedal those feet a couple times, move around, shift the hips, the legs, and try to get that tailbone, those hips into that inverted V position. And then let's walk the feet forward to the top of your mat, just behind the hands. Forward fold. Ragdoll pose, actually. So we grab the elbows, release the head, relax the head, shake out the neck. Rock from side to side. Okay, release your hands down to the floor, bend the knees, and roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Till you come to that standing pose. And we'll take our feet a little bit wider, just outside the hips. Bend the knees, soften the arms. So you got this like horse stance, so you can get a little bit sort of wiggly, loose, just hanging out. Hands next to your thighs. We're gonna scoop up, take an inhale, hands to shoulders. Exhale, hands float down. So now that we're standing, we can maybe take a deeper breath, inhaling that energy, that vibrancy, the ability to thrive. Exhale, a slow float down. Okay, one more time, just hands to the shoulders. And then extend the hands forward. Extend, reach. Let the wrist grow loose. So we're gonna do what we call brush hands, the Tai Chi style breath movement to connect breath and movement. Inhale, brushing up, straighten the legs, reach up high. Exhale, bend the knees, keeping the chest lifted, brushing forward and down. So you can pick a color, and there's such a thing as a color meditation. A color that best reflects how you want to feel. Blue is very calming. It's actually a scientific study that if kids or students write on blue paper, they'll perform better because it's more calming. Whereas yellow, a symbol or color for vibrancy and energy. Also, it's a symbol for being fast. So McDonald's, they want to get you in and out, their colors are yellow and red. Green, a little bit more nature, maybe a bit softer. Purple, similar to blue. Let's turn over to the right side anyway. You can pick a color. Exhale, flex your foot, hinge at the hips. Straight leg, bend that left knee a little bit as you fold down. Inhale, reach up. Rainbow it across to the other side. Exhale, bend the opposite knee, straighten that side leg, hands brush down. Inhale, reach up, one more side to side. And then we'll take it back to the center. Reach all the way up, connect the hands at the top, turn the toes out. Bend the knees, hands to your heart and lower down, squat. Yogi squats. Let's get kind of comfortable here. This is often a place in yoga class where I check in with everyone and see how their hips or hamstring mobility is, because it's easy to see in this squat pose. Right here, I can't see anyone. So giving you a couple options. You can come up a little higher. It's gonna be tougher on the quads, but less for the flexibility and strain on the hamstrings and hips. You can take the feet a little closer, depending on your bone structure of your body, or a little farther. The heels, they don't have to be up, or they don't have to be down, they could be up. So you find a place that works for you. And I encourage you, while you're at home these next few weeks, to practice more sitting on the floor. It can be in a squat like this, not quite sitting, but to get lower without using so much of your furniture. If you're working from home, maybe try cross-leg on the floor. I have a couple coffee tables that are lower, so I can put my laptop on there and sit down cross-leg. That can really help to circulate your blood and to get you, different than that seated position that tightens up the hip flexors and those hips. All right, let's take the hands back to the ground, lengthen the legs, heel toe the feet a little closer together. Bend the knees, and second time, rolling yourself up. We'll do some sun salutations. Roll those shoulders back. Your feet can be either hip distance or big toes touching with their heels apart. I prefer my feet together, but you may prefer something different. Palms forward, chest lifted. This first sun salutation will go through a little bit slower, and I hope that you get the hang of these so that this can be a really great, simple morning practice. 1, 2, 3 sun salutations to get that body and energy warmed up and energy flowing. So palms facing in front of you, chest open, rotating those arms open, standing up tall. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead, connect them at the top, look up towards the hands. Exhale, open the arms, diving down, hinging at the hips, heart leading the way into your forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands can come to the shins or to the floor. We're just lengthening, drawing the shoulders back and crown of the head forward. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step the feet back, heading back towards your plank pose. It might go first through up, down dog, and then shifting forward, but finding a strong plank pose is our first one. Similar to the knees on the ground when we did hands and knees, but we're lifting the legs, straightening the legs. Shoulders back, a strong position just as if you were standing. So careful not to dump into the shoulders to connect the shoulder blades. Instead, the opposite, protract, lift up. If you've got a little lift through that mid-body, that's okay. Just not too much of a lift like a down dog, but a little lift through the shoulders, the upper chest. And if your breath is getting a little bit choppy here, just take those knees down. You can still build a lot of strength there. I'll take my knees down for this first one. Hug the arms in, elbows to the back. Look forward, shift your weight forward, elbows to your rib cage, bending no more than 90 degrees. Inhale, pressing that heart forward, shoulders back, chest lifted, heart open, gaze forward, up dog. From your knees or lifted knees, full up dog. Then look down from the knees or the toes, tuck the toes or roll over the toes to lift the hips to down dog. Use your core strength to head back. And that was a lot of talking. So these next few are not going to be as much talking. We'll just go through it. Take one more deep breath in down dog. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Half lift, inhale, prep breath. Come down again, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, look forward, reach out, stand up. Exhale, hands come down to your heart. Remembering our mantra, our affirmation, I am thriving. Inhale, open those arms out and up, rise, reach up. Exhale, open arms, leading with the heart, fold forward. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, you can step or jump back to plank pose. It's hard to talk while doing that. Inhale, shift forward on the tippy toes or take those knees down. Exhale, elbows to 90 degrees. One of the more challenging poses. There's no stretch here, it's all strength. Inhale, slide that heart forward and through, up dog, or we can go to the ground for cobra pose. Also a great option. Exhale, lift those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a couple deep breaths. Bend the knees, look forward. As you finish this exhale, step or jump to the top of your mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up tall, reach out, rise up. Little bend in the knees as you rise. Hands to your heart, exhale. One more and we will move on from there into some lunges and standing poses. Hands down, reach up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, step or jump back to plank pose. Shift high up onto the tippy toes again. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Let's start with that right leg. Lift it high, inhale. Bend your knee. Open a little in the hips. And then give it a big circle into those hips. Let's take that knee around to the right and the left. Big circles. And switch directions. Then lift that leg high, keep it toes facing the floor, hips neutral, pelvis neutral. Lift the left heel high, bend the right knee, knee to nose, step between the hands. Let's start with our crescent lunge. Our crescent lunge, or low lunge actually. Fingertips on the ground, pause. Lift through that back heel a little bit, pull the front heel towards the back, or kind of feel that activation like you're squeezing the legs together. Press into the hands and get lighter in the fingertips, lighter. Now here's an option for strength building to get more powerful, strong, and feel kind of good after this to make sure those legs, blood is flowing. Let's take those arms and reach wide. Now if you need to keep or want to keep your hands on blocks or the floor, please do. The first time I ever did my yoga videos with one of my favorite instructors, the first time I went through the 60-day program, this pose was not accessible to me. It was very hard, I get it. But in time, consistent practice, even just 10, 15 minutes a day, can do a lot of great things for your body, for your mind, for your life. Okay, bring your hands back down to the ground. Back knee to the floor. Straighten that front leg as you pull the toes back, half splits. Folding forward over that right leg, reach the crown of the head towards the toes. All right, let's try something here. Shift forward, take both hands to the inside of that right leg. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, and pivot on the right heel and the left ball of the foot towards the left side. So you pivot, pivot, pivot. Oh, low side lunge. You're bending in that right knee, so kind of like that yogi squat, just on one side. Left inner thighs feeling this. You might be up a little higher, or you might be coming down, lifting the toes of the left leg. Heel of the right leg lifts, and it's okay if your knees over the toes because you've got your hands on the floor. So that side lunge. This is a pose I feel like I don't add a lot into my practices or my teaching, but a pose that I really, really like. Using your hands as much as you need to, sit down. So you use your right hand, bring it behind you, and slowly sit. Take that right foot more towards the middle of your body and give it a nice squeeze. Lift up tall. Left leg is extended long. And again, you might be seeing the opposite of this. If you're watching and doing a leg, just do whatever side works for you. If you're paying attention to my verbal cues, then it's your left leg extended, right knee hugging in. Right, so then take your left hand, or the same hand that's on the side of the long leg, and reach way back behind you, generously back. Press into the right foot and the left heel. Send the right hand, the other hand, straight up into this version of sort of like a side plank. If your hand is up, you can also reach it back. I'm gonna hit the wall here where I need a little more space. But this right knee is directly over the ankle, and a stable foot in that bent knee. Hips high. See what you've got for this open bridge style pose. Kind of a side plank, kind of a bridge pose. And lower back down. Whew. Awesome. So you're going to use that left hand, again, the one that's behind you, to help press you back up into that side lunge. Got that? Maybe. And take your time to get there. If you need to use your knees, your hands, do so in a very gentle, non-judgmental way. Walk your hands over to the left side. Straighten the right leg. Over to the left, pivot. Now you're going to maybe face away from me. You can always, hop switch and to see what we're doing. But pivot all the way so you're in that low lunge. Again, low lunge. So the hands are down. It's where we started, this time on the left side. Left knee is bent in front of you, fingertips only on to the floor. So see if we can activate more through the legs. Keep those hips down rather than piking up and dropping the heart below the hips. Keep those hips below the shoulders and stay in that long straight line. Imagine someone could sled down your body from the crown of your head to your right heel and not go off any jumps. How about, and that back knee might come down. I know mine is right now. I'm not used to practicing and doing all of this while teaching. Let's take those arms out to the side. Keep the chest and the thigh glued together. Elbows reaching back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Give yourself a smile, joyful that you're here today. Okay, then take those hands back down towards the ground. Knee comes down, straighten that left leg half split. And shift forward again, back into that lunge. Back knee picks up. Gonna pivot on the left heel and the right follows it over towards, again, same direction, into that low side lunge. So now the toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Fingers might be down. Get into that right inner thigh. You might sit close to the heel or get up a little higher. Even up here is a great place to be. So you could take your hands to your thigh. Or lowering down, maybe. Again, up to you. Check in with your own body, where you are in this moment. Tomorrow is going to be different than today. Last year is different than today. Some days I can do the splits. Some days I can't even come close. So it's all good. All right, so then from there, we're sitting down. So if you're up high, you take your time. You might even take that straight leg knee down to help you sit, and then bring that leg back out to the side. There's a few ways to get there. Take the left foot a little closer to the midline of the body, hug it in nice and close, and then really squeeze like you love your knee. Give it a nice hug, because we're not given as many hugs lately, so why not hugging ourselves a little bit more? Good. And that tall, lengthened spine. Let's take that left hand. We're going to sit a little heavier. Take the right hand actually, the one that's the same as a long leg side. Reach way back. Plant that bent knee foot down and reach the opposite arm up as you lift the hips and find this vibrant opening, this side plank or bridge pose, sometimes called warrior's bridge or wild thing. The names don't particularly matter so much as the action, the sensation, the breath. Good, and lower back down, sit down. Now it is a pretty tricky transition to lift back up to a side plank or side lunge. You can take that left foot a little more out to the side again, press into that right hand, the one that's behind you, lift up, crawl forward. This time straighten the left leg, step back if you need to, wide leg forward fold. Hang out for a minute. And then walk your hands back to the right side, pivoting into that lunge, step back to downward facing dog. You have to end, of course, with that left leg lifted. At least we have to finish this sequence or series with a few left leg rotations, left hip, left knee coming around in circles. And then switch directions. And we'll start with the left side. So we're going to step through again to take that left leg up high. Lift the right heel, bend the knee, and step between the hands. Back heel spins down this time, warrior one. You can crawl up, sweep those arms up, rise up, back heel down, front knee bent. Then arms open, warrior two. Left hand forward, right hand back. Now you're seeing my backside view, but that's all right. You can take those feet a little bit wider. Front heel in line with the back arch. Soften the shoulders. Press through that pinky toe side of the foot. A little stronger, a little longer in the arms. Flip the left palm. Reach straight up. Right hand slides down the back leg. Find more length through the left side of the body and also that right side though. So keep lifting and lengthening both sides as you side bend. A little bit of a back bend. Just a tiny bit though. Inhale back up to warrior two. Exhale, left elbow to your thigh. Right arm up overhead. Palm facing beyond the crown of your head, the top of your mat. And then extend that right arm. Straight line, bend a little more in that left knee. Look up towards that right hand. Lift back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Back foot comes in a couple inches. Step it in. Reach way forward, triangle pose. Left hand down anywhere down the leg. Right arm reaching up. Open that body. Reach tall. Try to get less weight into that left hand. I know it can be tempting to really hold on to the leg. Let's see if we can lighten that load and find more core strength to keep us balanced and lifted. Good, bend into the left knee. Rise back up, warrior two. We're gonna pivot and switch sides. Guess I should have been facing you anyway, that's okay. Straighten that front leg, pivot to the other side. Now I am gonna face you, so you can pivot and face the back of the room, or you can do what I just did and randomly switch sides. Right leg is bent, arms open wide. Look beyond the right fingertips. Warrior two. Can we get a little lower? Hips under shoulders, hips are level. Good, open through that right knee. Soft shoulders. You can flip the right palm, keep the legs as they are, reverse warrior. Reach straight up, left hand is light down the back leg, or you can take it around the hips or the thigh, or the hips as well, the low back. Look up, hold there. Good, back to warrior two, inhale. Right elbow to your thigh, this time left arm extended beyond your head, beyond your knee, palm facing down at the floor, and light in that right elbow. So there's no weight, which actually makes it a lot more challenging. You could take your hand to the floor. This sometimes could be easier because you've got weight into that right hand than just hovering the elbow above the knee, strengthening the legs. So don't get into too much of what's easier and harder because each person will be different. A modification might be an intensification for one, and so on and so on. So we've got options and customizations in our yoga practice. Lift to warrior two, straighten the front leg. Back foot comes in a few inches. Reach long, hips a little bit more towards the side of the room. Right hand down, left arm up, triangle pose. Can lift back up to warrior two, bending in that right knee. Pivot the toes to face or straighten the front leg. Pivot to face the long edge of the mat. Reach the arms wide, hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, press the palms down, open the heart. One more inhale, pressing hips forward. Exhale, fold down, hands connected, forward fold. And Release those hands down to the floor. Heel toe your feet closer together. Closer, closer, closer. Not all the way together, but turn the toes out back to our yogi squat. Bend the knees and sit down. I know you're facing a different side of the mat. That's all right. Pause and hold here. If you're feeling energetic and vibrant and wanting a little bit of a challenge, or just because you've got a lot of pillows out in front of you, you can try crow pose or crane pose. So from the side view, you take your hands down shoulder distance, lift the heels up, hug the knees firmly on the upper arm bones, look forward, round into the back so you're pulling your chest up and in, get lighter on the toes, heavier in the hands, look way forward, again that's key, looking forward, and maybe lift a foot or two. So I wish I could see you all doing this or trying this if you're doing it. If not, that's all right. Stay in that squat for a little longer. Oh, I see a couple of you doing things. Awesome. Good job. All right, come back down. Straighten the legs and forward fold. Take your hands underneath your feet, stepping on the wrists or stepping on the palms to loosen the wrists. Bend the elbows and fold down. Okay, release the hands from underneath the feet. Bend the knees, take your hands on your hips, and then rise up. Step, walk, jump to the top of your mat. And we will make our way down. How we're gonna do that is going to be through chair pose, through a squat. So feet together or slightly apart. Bend the knees, reach those arms up, all the way up. Reach forward for a little counterbalance. Bend a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper. Use your hands when you need, and sit down. It might be a plop right away, but in time, we make that a bit softer in time. So you can scooch back a little bit, heading towards pigeon pose. So I'm gonna give you a couple options. Number one, we could do a seated figure 4 or reclined figure 4, if that's better for the knees specifically, if you've got super tight hips. Or we can take pigeon pose. Grab that right ankle and pull it underneath the left leg so your shin is across the mat. Left leg extends around so you circle it back and reach through the toes as your left hip rolls down. Pigeon, half pigeon. So find a comfortable place, seated, lying on your back, or kneeling like this, and start to walk the hands down, getting that nice, good old-fashioned hip stretch. If you've got, stacked fists or even a block to place on under your forehead, go for it. All right, lifting back up. You get to switch sides, and you can choose how you switch sides. So simply switch, or if you're in this kneeling version, you might step back to a down dog, shake it out a little, and then switch sides from there. Or you can do the swing around, left leg comes forward, same type of deal, staying seated, extend the back leg. So just switch sides, and then finding your pigeon pose on this side. If you've got a blocker blanket underneath the bent knee side, you can place underneath your glutes. That can help to get you a little higher and lift that floor a little higher for you. So let's just hold it down and find a nice, comfortable, semi-comfortable, slightly uncomfortable situation here. I want you to feel sensation in this pose. It is not just an easy fall asleep, relaxing pose, but hopefully after heating as much as we did with our lunges, this should feel like really great release. And this pose is best served for us towards the end of our practice for that very reason. We need to heat our muscles before we stretch. It is safer and more effective for flexibility to stretch warm muscles, which is why our warm-ups to our fitness classes are often more active and the stretch at the end is more passive. And slowly start to lift yourself back up. And we'll meet in a seated pose, but if you want to first do a down dog, we'll stretch and pedal the feet. You can do a little bit of that, but we will come into a seated pose. Taking the knees down, sit back. Take the feet together, knees open wide. We're heading towards the end of our practice to give yourself a little opposing stretch from pigeon pose. This is Baddha Konasana or bound angle, also called cobbler's pose or butterfly pose. Again, names don't matter so much. I want you to feel it. So knees out wide, grab onto the toes or the feet. Open your feet like you're opening pages of your favorite book. And we lift high and then send the heart forward. The elbows press into thighs or calves. I hope that some of you have picked up some books lately, especially if you're not working as much. Getting back into reading has been so much fun. I'm actually more busy now than I have been in a long time, but I am reading for our yoga teacher training and to keep up to date. But reading for fun, if you have the time and can get back into it, what a great sort of yoga practice too. It can be a very meditative, very calming and nurturing practice of self-care, self-love. All right, lift back up. Knees together. Let's take the toes to the top of the mat. Reach your arms forward and roll yourself down to the floor. A big sigh out. Bend the knees, taking your feet about hip distance. Palms down next to your heels. Shoulders dig into the floor, back of the head down and heavy. Press into the feet as you lift the hips for bridge pose. This is a nice front body opening, a reactivation of the back of the body. It's also a mild inversion with our hips above our heart. So it's creating that blood flow circulation, working to calm our nervous system. Then slowly lower back down. Hug those knees in again, give a squeeze. And place the feet about mat distance this time. Knees are still bent And knees will then windshield wiper right to left. Releasing tension, tightness in that lower back, letting go. And then take those knees back up again. Legs go straight up. Try it. Both legs, heels towards the sky, right above the hips, or a slight bend in the knees. You could also take a block or blanket or even your hands underneath your hips. Well, that doesn't feel that fun on my shoulders, so I would take a prop if I wanted to elevate the hips a little bit. It actually helps to lessen the hinge in the hips to create more space for any tight hamstrings. If it's in your practice and calling towards you to do shoulder stand, you may take a shoulder stand. Of course, please be careful in your home practice if these are new poses where you haven't done them before. Be mindful of your own personal abilities, because I'm not seeing you and I'm not seeing exactly what your needs are. So I would recommend erring on the side of caution when it comes to practicing these poses. Yoga is not a practice to go 100% into. It is more of a long-term, slow and steady type of deal. So use this practice for life practice, for the goal to, at the end of your life, be content. Not a month from now, not a year from now. And in time, you'll find yourself not really worried anymore about your physical body, your breath. It is what it is. They are what they are. Right, bending your knees wherever you are, gonna slowly come down. Hug your knees in one more time. Rock side to side, and you can grab your feet for happy baby pose. Rocking side to side. It's like we are going in reverse in our yoga practice. So yoga helps us to stay young and energized. And we end our practice, of course, with happy baby. And we do a sort of death and rebirth as we head to Shavasana. So Shavasana, which is where we're going to next, is a full relaxation. And I hope you stay for the few minutes that we'll do this. Full relaxation, meaning extend the legs, let the feet fall open, hands rest by your side, close your eyes. And a few minutes here. And then at the end of this, where we roll to our sides into a fetal position, like we're being reborn. But right now, let's try to empty all of that. Empty your mind. Empty the effort in your body and your breath. And I don't think anyone has anywhere else to be tonight, so stay here with me and enjoy this time of quiet. Relax your face, your jaw. Feel the tongue on the tip of your teeth and the roof of your mouth. Feel melting through that heart center, a heaviness through your midsection, hips heavy, feet fall open, and palms either face up or down, but relaxed. All right, take a deep breath in. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And of course, you are welcome to stay here a little longer or as much as you want. To end our practice, if you'd like to conclude with me, you're going to reach your hands overhead, take a long stretch. And then roll to your side, using one arm as a pillow or just rolling to either side's fine, right or left. And then slowly and gently pressing back up to a seated pose, just like we began. And holding that intention, affirmation with us, at least for a little bit longer today. I am thriving. I'm reaping the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. So finding health in our everyday life and finding joy in our everyday life and finding a way to serve and contribute. So let's take a deep breath in, reach those arms up, connect the hands at the top, sealing in that practice, draw down to your heart. And with one more breath and thumbs to heart center, inhale. Let a long exhale out. Thank you so much for joining in this Thursday night virtual yoga practice. I hope to see you again very soon. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. And if you want to stay and say anything or chat, that's great. Otherwise, I'll see you again later. I'm gonna stop the recording.